So you've heard the stories, right? Investing is like gambling, or it's only for people with a lot of money. Those myths keep millions stuck, missing out on real financial growth. Well, today we're blowing those myths out of the water. This is beginner investing, explained in clear human language without any confusing jargon. Stick with me, and by the end, you'll have a practical roadmap for how to start investing, using simple strategies you can actually follow. No fancy degrees needed, just a desire to grow your money. At its core, investing means putting your money into assets that can grow over time. Think of it like planting a seed and watching it become a tree. The big three most beginners will encounter are stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. First up, stocks. When you buy a stock, you're essentially buying a tiny slice of a company. If that business grows and becomes more successful, your ownership can become more valuable. It's a direct way to participate in the success of companies you believe in. Next, we have bonds. Imagine lending money to a company or even the government. In return, they pay you interest over time. Bonds are typically less volatile than stocks, meaning fewer big ups and downs, but they usually offer lower long-term returns. They're often seen as a more stable part of an investment portfolio. And then there are mutual funds and index funds. These are super smart options for beginners. They pool money from many investors and then buy a whole bunch of different stocks or bonds all at once. For index funds, think of them as a giant basket that tracks a specific market index, like the S&P 500. This gives you instant diversification, meaning you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, and it usually comes with a low cost. Now, you might hear about ETFs versus index funds. Let's simplify that. Both often track indexes and are generally low cost. The main difference? ETFs, which stands for Exchange Traded Funds, trade throughout the day just like a regular stock. This offers a lot of flexibility. Traditional index mutual funds, on the other hand, trade only once per day at the closing price. They're fantastic for set-it-and-forget-it investors. For many absolute beginners, either option can work perfectly. Just choose based on things like fees, how convenient it is for you, and what your investment platform offers. Two core concepts really power your investment outcomes. The first is compound interest. This is often called the eighth wonder of the world. It means your earnings start generating their own earnings over time. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and bigger. If you reinvest your dividends and interest, your money truly snowballs. The second concept is risk and return. Generally, higher potential returns typically come with more ups and downs, more volatility. Your personal outcome improves dramatically when your risk level matches your unique situation. Understanding your risk tolerance and how you allocate your assets are the backbone of simple investment strategies. Risk tolerance is simply how much volatility you can handle, both emotionally and financially. Can you sleep at night if your investments dip temporarily? Your time horizon is how long until you actually need the money. If you have a longer time horizon, say decades until retirement, you can typically afford to take on more stock exposure because you have time to recover from market dips. Asset allocation is your mix of stocks, bonds, and cash. A diversified portfolio for beginners might be as simple as 80% stock index funds and 20% bond index funds if you're young with a long time horizon. Or, if you prefer a smoother ride with less volatility, you might go for a 60% stock and 40% bond mix. For maximum simplicity, let's talk about target date funds. These are single fund options that automatically adjust your investment mix over time. When you're far from retirement, they hold more stocks. As you get closer to your target retirement year, they gradually shift to hold more bonds, becoming more conservative. They are a smart, simple default for many people who want a truly hands-off approach. Over time, the markets will shift your allocation. This is where rebalancing your portfolio comes in. It means selling a little bit of what went up and buying a little bit of what lagged behind, all to restore your original target mix. This helps control risk without you trying to guess what the market will do next. Ready to get started? Here's a quick guide to setting up a brokerage account. First, choose a reputable broker. Look for one with low fees, a wide selection of index funds and ETFs, options for automatic investing, and a clean, easy-to-use interface. Second, open the account type you need. A taxable brokerage account is for general investing. For long-term, tax-advantaged growth, consider retirement accounts like a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. Let's quickly break down Roth IRA versus traditional IRA basics. With a Roth IRA, you contribute money that you've already paid taxes on. The huge benefit? Qualified withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. This is great if you expect to be in a higher tax bracket later in life, or if you just love the idea of tax-free compounding. A traditional IRA allows your contributions to potentially be tax-deductible right now, which can lower your taxable income today. However, withdrawals in retirement will be taxed. It's useful if you need that tax deduction today. Before you even think about investing, you absolutely need an emergency fund. This means keeping 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses in a high-yield savings account. Why? Because this prevents you from having to sell your investments at bad times, like during a market downturn, and it keeps you calm through market volatility. It's your financial safety net. Next, create a budgeting and saving plan. The best way to do this is to automate a monthly transfer directly to your brokerage or IRA account. Even small, consistent amounts will compound into significant wealth over time. Financial literacy for beginners truly starts with understanding your cash flow. Spend less than you earn, automate your savings, and avoid high-interest debt at all costs. A super smart strategy is dollar cost averaging. This means investing a fixed amount at regular intervals, for example, every single month, regardless of what the market is doing. Dollar cost averaging smooths out your purchase price across all the ups and downs of the market, and crucially, it reduces the temptation to try and time the market, which is nearly impossible to do consistently. Let's talk about index versus active investing. Index investing simply aims to match the overall market's performance at a very low cost. Active investing, on the other hand, tries to beat the market, often with higher fees and, frankly, mixed results. For most beginners, low-cost index funds, or ETFs, provide excellent long-term outcomes. Keep it simple, keep it cheap. Here's a long-term investing strategy that's incredibly easy to follow. First, choose a low-cost total market, or S&P 500 index fund for your stock exposure. Second, add a total bond market fund for stability. Third, automate your monthly contributions. Fourth, rebalance your portfolio just once or twice a year. And finally, hold for decades. That, my friends, is the buy and hold strategy in a nutshell. Patience is your superpower here. You might hear about dividend investing. Dividends are simply payouts from companies to their shareholders. Reinvesting these dividends automatically accelerates your compounding, making your money grow even faster. However, don't chase high yields at the expense of diversification and quality. What truly matters most is your total return, which is the combination of price appreciation plus those dividends. If you prefer a completely hands-off solution, consider robo-advisors. These automated platforms build diversified portfolios for you, automate rebalancing, and can even handle things like tax loss harvesting in taxable accounts, all for a small advisory fee. They're like having a personal financial assistant without the high cost. It's crucial to know how to read an expense ratio. This is an annual fund fee expressed as a percentage, for example, 0.03%. Lower is always better because fees compound against you. Over decades, even a 1% difference can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars for large portfolios. Every penny saved on fees is a penny earned for you. Let's touch on tax-efficient investing basics. Prefer index funds or ETFs in your taxable accounts. They generally have lower turnover and fewer capital gains distributions, which means less taxes for you. Always use tax-advantaged accounts like Roth or traditional IRAs and 401ks for your long-term assets. They offer incredible tax benefits. Understand capital gains taxes. If you sell an investment for a profit, that's a capital gain. If you hold it for under a year, it's considered short-term and taxed as ordinary income. If you hold it for over a year, it's long-term and often taxed at lower rates. Holding longer can significantly improve your tax outcomes. And remember, tax loss harvesting, often done through robo-advisors, can offset gains and reduce your taxable income. If you're doing it yourself, make sure to learn the wash sale rules to avoid issues. Your own investment psychology and biases can actually derail even the best plans. Watch out for common traps. Market timing. Trying to buy at the absolute bottom and sell at the absolute top. Consistently doing this is nearly impossible, even for the pros. Recency bias. Assuming that recent trends will continue forever, the market rarely moves in a straight line. Loss aversion. Feeling losses much more intensely than gains, which can push you to sell low out of fear. Don't let emotions dictate your decisions. Let's talk about market volatility. Prices will swing as investors digest new information. This is completely normal. Over long periods, diversified markets have consistently trended upward, but they never move in straight lines. Build a plan that can handle these storms, because they will come. Here are some common investing mistakes to avoid at all costs. Paying high advisory, fund, and trading fees. Under-diversifying by betting on just a few stocks. Overtrading and constantly reacting to every single headline. Ignoring your time horizon and your personal risk tolerance, and skipping an emergency fund, then being forced to sell at the worst possible time. To anchor your behavior and ensure long-term success, here are some personal finance tips. Set clear financial goals, step by step, whether it's for retirement, a home, or education. Automate your contributions to remove willpower from the equation. Make it happen automatically. Review your plan annually, rebalance, and increase your contributions as your income grows. And finally, keep a written investment policy, even if it's just one page, to guide your decisions when emotions run high. Here's a starter blueprint that embeds everything we've talked about for how to start investing for beginners. First, build your emergency fund, aiming for 3 to 6 months of expenses. Second, contribute to a Roth IRA if you're eligible. If not, a traditional IRA or your workplace retirement plan. Third, choose a diversified portfolio for beginners. I recommend 80% low-cost stock index funds or ETFs, which could be a total US market fund plus a total international fund, or a single global market fund. Then, 20% low-cost bond index funds or ETFs. Adjust this to 60% stock and 40% bond, or 70% stock and 30% bond if you prefer less volatility. Fourth, automate a monthly dollar cost averaging strategy. Fifth, rebalance your portfolio once or twice per year. And sixth, stay the course. This is the buy and hold strategy for the long term. For those who want maximum simplicity, seriously consider a single target date index fund that matches your retirement year. It automatically allocates and rebalances for you. It's truly set it and forget it. Investing for absolute beginners doesn't require picking hot stocks or spending hours reading charts. With beginner investing explained in plain English, you can adopt simple investment strategies that compound quietly in the background. Low costs, broad diversification, automatic contributions, and time in the market. The earlier you start, the more compounding can work its magic for you, but it is truly never too late to begin. Remember, your plan should fit your life, your goals, your time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Keep learning, keep it simple, and take that next small step today.